done a few of these lately on the channel. We've done redrafts of different NBA draft classes, looked at where some Raptors may end up in their redrafts. We've done one with RJ Barrett. We've done one with Grady Dick. Now we're going to go into a really tough one here. We're going to be doing a redraft of the 2021 NBA draft class, which was billed as being a really talented draft class, and it has become a very talented draft class with some extraordinary players that have come out of it in a lot of different areas of the draft. So this is going to be one of the tougher redrafts we've had to do on the channel, but let's tackle it and see how high Scottie Barnes does go. And we'll once again be doing it with a trusty tier list, which I'll be pulling up for you guys here. We, as usual, have the top 5. We have the lottery, which are players who got selected outside the top 5, but inside the top 14, excuse me. We have the first round picks, the players who are not lottery picks, but still I would select in the first round in redraft. The second round picks, the undrafted players. We decided not to go with the Shanghai Sharks category this time. The final category is suspended by the NBA for exposing himself to women, and we'll wait and see if somebody does fit that category. But we'll jump into things here. I'm actually going to do it. Oh wow! I actually arranged it in order earlier today, where we'd be going in opposite order from undrafted players down to the first overall pick. It has since jumbled up on me, so we're going to be doing it in this randomized, jumbled up order. And this time, as opposed to what I did on the previous redraft I did look into every single player who declared for this draft was undrafted to find undrafted players who would also be seated in this redraft. Other than that, if you're in the first round, you're guaranteed here. And then I handpick specific undrafted players and second round picks to also feature. All right, let's dive into it. Sam Hauser is good. He's not playing well this season at all. But there are a lot of good players in this draft. So there's no way. I don't think there's any way he's going to end up being a lottery player. We will put him as a first-round pick. DJ Carton had a stint with the Raptors, relatively unsuccessful, injury-riddled, no longer in the league. I think that's a player that ends up probably going undrafted still, even in a redraft. I mean, I could see him maybe end of the second round, but for now, I'll put him undrafted. AJ Lawson, still in the league, two-way contract with the Raptors, has played playoff games for the Dallas Mavericks, talented player, definitely. I'm going to put him as a second-round pick. I think we could end up moving him up, but I think for now we will keep him as a second-round pick. Jay Huff, talented player, had a good year with Memphis last year, is a decent role player for the Pacers right now. I think he'll end up being a first-round pick as well in a redraft. David Mitchell, starting to shine a little bit more with the Miami Heat after getting traded there from the Raptors. I think even though he's underwhelmed as a previous 9th overall pick, that he'll end up going as a first rounder. I'll put him in the first round. Corey Kispert has hung around. He was a lottery pick in this draft. Actually, was he? I think he was just outside the lottery, actually. Anyways, as a 15th overall pick, so just outside the lottery, he has, ignore that. As someone who's gone just outside the lottery, he has definitely done enough to stay in the league and continue as a role player in this time. So I think that'll end up being a first-round pick as well. Maybe if he wasn't on the Wizards. I guess it could go both ways. If he wasn't on the Wizards, would it be better with better players around him? Or if he wasn't on the Wizards, would he not play as much because he's on a better team? I think a little bit more of the former. So I will put him still as a first-round pick. Herb Jones, this is Trey Murphy. Man, this would have to be a really good draft class for me to not take Herb Jones in the lottery. Went second round this year. Tremendous defender, has gotten better as a three-point shooter, great talent. Man, if he's not a lottery player, this draft is just crazy. Evan Mobley, 100% a top 5 pick, and will have a very big claim of going number 1 overall in this redraft, along with others. And we will wait until we get there. Cam Johnson is just a perfect example of you can be such a talented scorer, but still not be a very valuable player in the NBA. You got to have some other skills to go with it. And he's a guy that just needs a ton of the ball to score as much as he does. It's not super efficient. Doesn't really bring much else. Definitely is still a lot of talent to go first round. I don't think he'll quite crack the lottery here. We'll see. Jonathan Kuminga. I think in a redraft, I think there's still upside there. So even if we redrafted now, these guys are in their 5th season. I think if we redrafted, I think Kuminga still has a shot of going in the lottery. Maybe. We'll disperse as we get through because, there's 30 players who need to go in the first round. We'll make changes as we go. Jalen Green, I firmly believe Jalen Green is not a player that drives winning. I think that the Rockets last season were winning in spite of him a lot of the time. I would be shocked if there weren't 14 players I'd take ahead of him. Still first round pick because scoring is hard and he can score, but inefficient in doing so. I think I think this is good enough that we'll find 14 players that are better than him. Santi Aldama up next. Talented player, good floor spacer for a 7-footer. Can give you good backup minutes. Probably goes there. Not quite Jalen Green, but he goes there. Next is Eugene Omoruyi. There was, I think, enough to go late second round. Mac McClung, dunk contest freak. Probably gets him a second-round pick. Hasn't really made an impact in the NBA as of yet, but is I think a G League MVP. If he's not a G League MVP, he's a very good G League player. But I think he's a G League MVP. Anyways, second rounder. Jose Alvarado, good backup point guard, good defender. Grand Theft Alvarado, I think he'll end up going first round still. Trendon Watford, solid player. Found a good role with the Sixers this season. I think second round for now with a chance to move up. Justin Champagnie still in the league. Undrafted free agent out of this draft class. Hasn't impressed as much as I thought he would after leaving the Raptors, but I think he still gets drafted. Second round, we'll put him. Jordan Goodwin, I think he's a talented player that's kind of struggled to find a home. He's getting some more minutes with the Suns this season. I think that's a guy who still goes second round. He was late second round. I think he still... No, he was undrafted. I think he does go second round in a redraft. Okay. Wow. Pretty tough range here. We've got quite a crop of players to go through right now. Man. Cade Cunningham. If you offered me Cade or Evan Mobley to take right now, I mean, the way Cade Cunningham was playing, the way he's vaulted this Pistons team forward. It took him a while to really kick on the NBA, but ever since he has, wow, what an absolute talent. Might be an all-star starter this season. I think he's above Evan Mobley in my redraft. I think you gotta put him here. Just the amount he can drive winning with his scoring, I think is more valuable than even a defensive player of the year talent like Evan Mobley. There's limitations to what he can do on offense. And for me, I'm going to go with Cade Cunningham if I'm doing a redraft, but Evan Mobley's certainly up there. Now we get to Scottie Barnes. Now I could, for the sake of content, leave him to the end. And I think I am, because I'm going to be like that, and I'm going to think it over a little bit more. Because I don't want to do it yet. I want to have a long think about it. Jalen Suggs had a rough start to his NBA career, but has really found a valuable role in the league as a really good shooter and a really good defender, which weren't two of the traits you associated much with him going into this draft. But that is just so valuable to an NBA team that he's absolutely, at the very least, a lottery player. I would have him, but just behind Trey Murphy on mine. Josh Giddey, now I'd worded the last category a little bit differently. He might have been able to go in the last category, but because I worded it the way I did, I'm actually going to grade him as a basketball player. This season has been a bit eye-opening, and the end of last season. I wonder how much of it is going to sustain for Giddey, but the fact that he's still playing really well to start this season means for me, I am going to put him as a lottery player. Not ahead of Jalen Suggs, but in that range. Franz Wagner, terrific player. Don't think I'll take him ahead of Mobley or Cade in a redraft. Terrific player, still a top 5 player. I think all-star potential. I just don't think quite as high as Mobley or Cade for the sake of this redraft. Zaire Williams went 10th overall in this draft. Talk about a pretty rough pick considering the amount of talent in this draft. I'm not sure Zaire goes first round, but he'd be a high second-round pick, I think. James Bouknight was an 11th overall pick and just turned out to be awful. Just, like, awful. Never made any sort of impact in the NBA at all. I don't think any team would draft him based off that. And now, a bunch of these are in order now. In fact, this is all in order now. Except for Jalen Johnson, who went, I think, here. Okay, now it's in order of the way they were drafted. Okay, that's weird that it shifted like that. But anyways, Bouknight, 11th overall, undrafted. Josh Primo, 12th overall pick. I think in a redraft, I would have to say he'd get suspended by the NBA for exposing himself to women. I think it's probably just a category he has to go in. No longer playing pro basketball, from my understanding. That's the category I think fits best for him. Chris Duarte, Canadian ties, but I think hails Puerto Rico as his nationality. Playing overseas now, but there is talent there to play a role in the NBA. I'll put him second round for now. I could see him, just because he's out of the league now, and I think I'm just a little bit, haven't seen him in a while. I'll put him there. But I feel like if he had still been in the league, maybe I could have considered first round. But I'll put him there. Moses Moody in a redraft. I feel like Warriors were a bad spot for him. Maybe he could have done a bit more somewhere else. But I think there's a chance he lands still in the first round. Put him here. And Alperen Sengun for me will have to be a top 5 player. Definitely not as good as Cade. I think you could definitely make the case over Evan Mobley. This is tough. This is very tough. I'm a big Alperen Sengun believer. If you've been a follower of the channel for a while, you know that. If you were a follower of the channel when this draft happened, you know I was very big on Alperen Sengun. I was also very big on Jalen Green, so, you know, some shit you don't get right, but don't really like Evan Mobley, so I'm trying to eliminate the bias. Biased, I'm putting him here. He's definitely ahead of Wagner. I would definitely take him ahead of Franz Wagner. I think... So I treat these drafts like I am drafting this. I have no players on my team, and I'm drafting this. I'm just trying to draft a better player. I think Evan Mobley of my team is really good. There's a fit there because of how good he is defensively. But I think if I want a guy to drive my team, be my number 1 player, I'd rather have Alperen Sengun over Evan Mobley. So I'm going to put him there. It's a very tough decision, but I'm going to put him number 2 for now, ahead of Mobley, behind Cade. Trey Mann up next. Solid player, solid backup. I think first-round pick. And we're only allowed to have 16 first-round picks, so we're good on that for now. Kai Jones. I mean, after he's a bit of a loose cannon as a person, so I think some teams would want to avoid that. He's now playing. I think he plays in Turkey now. Kai Jones. I'm deciding between undrafted and second round. I think there's enough talent that he gets a second round pick still. Put him second round. He went like 20th, I think. Maybe 19th in that draft. Up next is Jalen Johnson. Oh, this is a tough one. This is a tough one. I'm deciding if he's top 5 or if he's just outside the top 5. Jalen Johnson is very, very good. Very, very good. He's like, he can average 22 points, 10 rebounds, and like 7 assists. Like he can get triple-double on like almost a night-to-night basis. Good defender to go with it. So versatile. Do I want to put him ahead of Franz Wagner here? Wagner, obviously, a very talented scorer. Puts up good numbers in a lot of categories. Oh, maybe a bit better as an individual scorer. I think I'm going to... Oh, this is so tough. But I think the more complete player is actually going to be Jalen Johnson. And I hate to do it, but Franz is bumped to the lottery, which naturally does tell you that Barnes will be a top 5 player because I'm saving a spot for him up there. Just seeing how far we go there. On the next spot is Keon Johnson. And listen, I was really high on Sengun. I was really high on Keon Johnson. That did not work out. Keon Johnson recently got waived by the Nets. If you're bad enough to get waived by the Nets, that's not a really good sign in a redraft. Maybe gets drafted. Isaiah Jackson, maybe a late. He's a solid. He provides stuff. He's maybe a late first-round pick. We'll see. We'll see if he stays there. Usman Garuba, a lot of hype pre-draft. Didn't come to anything. Solid player for Real Madrid before and after his NBA career. Got drafted out of Real Madrid. Now he's back with them. Spanish player. I don't know if he gets drafted, actually. He might actually go undrafted. Josh Christopher. Don't think he gets drafted, to be honest, in a redraft. Quentin Grimes, definitely a first-rounder. Wow. Dallas, by the way, of all the bad... Nico Harrison made a lot of bad moves to the Mavericks. He basically gave away Quentin Grimes to the Sixers. And Grimes has been a great addition to the Sixers. Absolutely, I think, going to be in the first round. I would take him... Do I want to wear Dalma? I probably would. You know what? No, I'll put him here. Slightly behind. Bones Highland, geez. Bones. Inefficient, shoots a lot. Not a great player to manage, and a person to manage as a player as well. I think he goes second round still, though. I'll put him behind. Put him behind AJ Lawson. I'll put him behind Jordan Goodwin. Day'Ron Sharp, serviceable backup big. We're kind of running out of first round spots, but a serviceable big. Actually, I might prefer him over Isaiah Jackson. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 3 more spots left in the first round. Next, Jeremiah Robinson Earl, still in the league. But I don't think he'll end up going as a first rounder based on the talent we have hanging around here. I actually would have Trent Watford there. Put him. No, I'm not a Zaire Williams fan. I'm gonna move him down there. Herb Jones. Oh, I treated Trey Murphy like Herb Jones earlier. Oopsie. So Herb Jones is no. That's where I mistook them earlier. I swear I mistook them earlier. Herb Jones is a lottery pick still. Trey Murphy is the correct spot for me, but I described him as Herb Jones earlier. Trey Murphy is a terrific 3-and-D player, has emerged as a much more talented scorer, has emerged as a fantastic defender. Wow, would I love to have him on the Raptors. Trey Murphy goes just behind Franz. Herb Jones is a lottery pick for me because of how good he is defensively and the shooting he can bring. Okay, cleared that up. I'm sorry for I mixed them up, then corrected myself, and then still mixed them up earlier. Oh my god! All right, Miles McBride, Deuce McBride. Great shooter. There's value to that. And kind of looking at the lottery as it stands, he might be a lottery pick. He might be the end of the lottery. Somebody who can knock down shots at a really good clip for you, even on a playoff team. I like that. I might have to keep him in the lottery here. And there are 2 more spots left in the lottery. Ayo Dosunmu, solid. Not spectacular, but solid. I'll take him. Maybe gets in the first round still. Keita, I'm not a big fan of Keita. Sorry, you're a little cut off. We're a little cut off down here. So next up is Keita. We'll zoom out. I'm not a big fan of Keita, but he's played actually pretty well for the Celtics this year, which probably raises his stock. I'll take him over Dosunmu, which gives us one more player can go in the first round here, and 2 more can go in the lottery. Isaiah Livers, I think that's how you say it. Could be Livers. Sorry if I said it wrong. Canadian player. He's got talent. He'll definitely get drafted. Missed last year to injury. He'll get drafted. He's a second rounder. Kessler Edwards probably also gets drafted. There's enough talent there. Delano Banton, I think a team would take a stab there. Second rounder. Probably higher up second round. Yeah. I mean, former Raptor, we know, but had some good stints in Portland, but really hasn't kicked on from there. The reality is for Delano Banton, just take a bit more time. The reality is for Delano Banton, talented, but not enough shooting. Really, just like I've seen this guy play in the G League where he is just like so much better than other people in the G League, but it's just like he picks up his dribble early and is talented enough to kind of find his way to the rim and get something up and score. That doesn't cut it in the NBA when there's better players around, which is why it didn't really work out from kicking on. But I think a team would still take him second round. David Johnson with the Raptors' 46th pick in this draft, and I must say, I don't think any team has drafted him. Just didn't work out. I watched this guy a lot in G League as well, at Raptors 905 games, and if you're a draft pick, you should probably look good, maybe even too good in the G League. He didn't look like anything special, unfortunately. Luka Garza's done a good job hanging around. Late second round pick. Good job hanging around the league. He's got a decent role with the Celtics this year. There's talent. National Player of the Year in college, just not super athletic, which has limited what he can do in the NBA. But I think there's enough to go in the second round again. I'd draft him in the second round. Mamu, whoa, the way Mamu's played this year, good Lord. I mean, we got to put him in some serious conversations here. Maybe all the way up here in the first round. I would have him over Cam Thomas. I'd have him over Trey Mann. I'd have him over all these guys. Mamu's been so good this year. I have to. Just off of the season he's having for the Raptors. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, first rounder is full. So if we put somebody in the first round now, and we have to bump somebody. Unless, actually, we may have to move people up into the lottery here. That's actually what we might have to do. Jericho Sims, I think will just miss out on the first round for me. A little bit. He's not that good. Not a good defender. Not really that good of a scorer. But he's an NBA player. Aaron Wiggins is good. Aaron Wiggins is good, man. He's definitely first rounder. I mean, he's definitely lottery consideration for myself. I mean, if I have Miles McBride, I'd rather have him than Miles McBride. I'd probably rather have him than Jonathan Kuminga. I'd rather have him than Herb Jones, I think. He's been terrific as a late second-round pick. I'll put him all the way up there in the lottery. So one more spot in the lottery. I know for sure we're going to have to move up Jalen Green now. We have Bassie up next. Second rounder. Yeah, second rounder. From there. Brandon Boston, I think still goes second round, lower. Put him there. Jaden Springer, I think that is. Never really made an impact in the NBA. I don't even know if he'd get drafted. I'll put him undrafted, which leaves us with the final spot. We've got the first round actually needs one more bumped up. So we will bump up. I don't really want to bump up Robinson Earl. Who would go first round still? AJ Lawson's played in like the highest profile game. Let's put him. Let's give him the first round spot. Scottie Barnes. Scottie's Barnes, maybe now these days. I think there's a definite case for. I think you can make a case for Barnes to go first. I think you can make a case for Cade to go first. I could see people making a case for Mobley. And maybe even a case for Sengun. Those are the only players I could see going first again in this redraft. For me, the case is only for Cade Cunningham or Scottie Barnes. For Evan Mobley, as talented as a defender, Barnes has got so much more of a ceiling to hit. For Sengun, I think Barnes is a much more diverse set of talents and a higher ceiling still, even in year 5. Barnes has looked like a DPOY level player this year. He's looked like an absolute bona fide all-star this year. His scoring has been great. His playmaking has been great. His leadership has been great. If I was redrafting right now, I think Cade has done enough to stay number 1. This list looks very different 2 years ago, but we have a lot more information now. Cade is like a high 20-point per game player, efficient, good playmaker, leading that team. I got to give Cade his flowers there. I want to put Barnes number 1, but I think I got to go Cade Cunningham number 1. That will be the end of the redraft. Cade, Scottie, Sengun, Mobley, Johnson, as the top 5. Wagner, Murphy, Suggs, Giddey, Wiggins, Jones, Kuminga, McBride, Jalen Green as the rest of the players in the lottery. I could maybe move Jalen Green up 1, but I'd rather have Miles McBride. I think I would. So that'll do it. What do you guys think? Agree? Disagree? Comments? Let me know.